It's official. Claude changed how brands run Amazon forever. In a few minutes, I'm going to take one product and optimize the entire listing in front of you. But first, you need to understand what actually changed. Because after selling $100 million on Amazon, I can tell you most brands are completely blind to this. On the listing side, they still stuff keywords from Helium 10. And then on the creative side, they brief one image, wait a week for a designer, and call it done. And that used to be enough, but with AI, two things changed at once. Amazon stopped matching keywords and started reading intent, and creative became a volume game, where the winners test dozens of image variations to win the sale. So right now, a worse product that ranks for intent and tests creative at scale is climbing right above you and taking your category, which is why I'm going to show you the exact Claude system my team uses to run Amazon. So let's start with how Amazon ranks, because if you get this wrong, nothing else matters. For years, it just matched keywords. You put the words in your listing, Amazon matched them to your searches, and you ranked, and that's what Helium 10 was built for. But that world is gone, because Amazon now runs an AI search engine called Cosmos. Instead of matching words, it reads the intent behind the search. So let's say someone searches shoes for a wedding. The old system hunted for those exact words. Cosmos know they want to dress shoes and surfaced them, even if the listing never said wedding. And here's the part that should worry you. Keyword stuffing doesn't just stop working now. It now hurts you because the AI reads it as low quality and pushes it down. It reads your images too, actually. Amazon's own vision model looks at your photos and decides what your product is. So weak image isn't just ugly, it's invisible to the AI that ranks you. Or the Rufus or Alexa, they actually downgraded Rufus, that's just last week. But Alexa for shopping, when a customer asks it a question, it no longer knows how to answer because Alexa for shopping doesn't only look at your listing SEO and the words there, but it also reads your images and it reads for the UVP there to answer the customer what their intent, what they're trying to get at. So make sure that that's why it's also important. And creative change the same way. Set it and forget it is dead. The winners test new angles every week. Copy or creative, the answer comes from the same place, your brand, your products, your real customers, which is the source of truth, what they want, how they talk, why they buy. And that's exactly what a Claude project told. So now you know what Amazon's looking for. The question is how to actually give it that on the copy and creative across a whole catalog at scale. And that's where a simple ChatGPT prompt actually falls apart. Because a prompt doesn't know your brand, it doesn't know your customer, and it doesn't know how Amazon ranks now. So we stopped using prompts. That's where we built the brain. It's a Claude project that holds everything about the brand all in one place. The brand guidelines, the product specs, the real customer reviews, and the tone of voice. That brain is the whole secret, but because once it exists, everything you point at it comes out grounded in your actual customer data and sounding like your actual brand instead of generic AI slop. And this is basically how we get to a project. We just go to the main Claude portal. We go down here. There's projects right there. It opens up for us. You can go to new project. And then once you type in new project, I'm going to use this product as a example because I see that it had a lot of work and it could use a lot of improvement. So let's go and we can just see the images or the SEO. It's pretty much stale. So there's not much going on here. So that's where we can use that. This is how we use it for our brand. Obviously we have much more robust, and that's what we use for our partners, which I'll get into later. But I'll just describe what are you trying to achieve. I want to create a brain for my brand to produce killer SEO and creative optimization. Forget my spell. Trying to get through Amazon. Okay. And then this is a cool feature you can share with everyone on the team. Obviously, our brands are shared with everyone, and then we can make it just for us. In this case, we'll just keep it here since this is a test project for the video. So once that is created, now we have to fill in our actual brand data. We talked about the files, and we'll use AI to help us with AI. That's actually one of my main tips. And one of the biggest things that has been a game changer for me, the instructions, we have to fill all of this in. So what I like to do, instead of typing it in, I actually use an app called Whisper. It's right here, actually, WISPR. It's a dictation app. There's other ones too, but I'll basically just speak to the mic. So I'll just press here. Hey, hey, Claude, I'm just trying to, it's not typing for some reason. Okay, there we go. Select microphone. All right, so hey Claude, I wanted to build a brain project here in this project. I need to fill up the instructions and files for a specific brand. Basically, I want you to tell me what information I need to fill this project with to make sure that you're optimizing, you understand my brand well, because later I'm going to be using this to produce SEO for my listings, to produce creative for my listings. But I want you to tell me which files you need from me and the instructions also for this Claude project to produce it well. So there's that. I'm going to use Max. Max does take a longer time to think. You can use maybe the lower models for like typos, but this is a strategic question, so I want to use Max. And it's going to use more tokens, so I'm going to input that. We'll come back once the information. All right, great. So Claude got back to us. It told us the information that it needs. For example, the first thing that it wants the product catalog. So we'd make an Excel sheet with the product catalog, the specs, the dimension. The other one is a brand guide, the positioning. So this is actually one of the bigger ones, is what's your UVP or USP compared to your competition, unique selling proposition. Are you organic? They're not. Are you easy to use? They're not, right? You want to make sure you highlight that to Claude. All of these are their own separate files. So you want to go back here and you perhaps right here. So perhaps you're uploading 8 to 9, 10 files. You could also go to the history back here, right? So for example, this is the instructions. I'm going to copy paste this. This is how you use it. Obviously, this is not what specifically we do, but it's just example for the video. But over here, so just save instructions, right? So the more you load it with, the more potent the project becomes, the brain becomes, right? The context and data that you give it. So after providing all these data and all this kind of stuff, that's where it becomes more relevant. So this is where we'll jump into examples of that later. But the brand guide, make sure that you upload it with all of these that you can. And that's how you make your brain or project more efficient and more potent, basically. So now on top of that brain, we add skills, right? Here's the simplest way to think about it. The project is what Claude needs to know, the data. A skill is how to do a specific job. And the same brain feeds every skill that you build. So let me point two of them. First, we're going to start with the listing, then the creative. And before I build the skills, building this brain, loading every product, writing the skills, and keeping up with Cosmos and Alexa for shopping while they keep shifting, and even running creative at volume is a real full-time job. We have entire teams doing this. So if you'd rather have us do this for you at scales with our proprietary skills and proprietary brain projects that we use to grow brands 35% year over year, come check us out, partnerships.voadera.com. See if your brand is a good fit for us, and we could take it from there. But otherwise, let's get started and build the skills. So the first one we wanted to build is the SEO skill. So now that assuming we obviously uploaded the files here and we have all the information in the guide, the next thing that we're going to do is it's the exact process for writing listing intent and how Cosmos score it. Again, I'm not going to share exact skill, I'll just show you how to build it. And it's not only for search. Since, for example, January 2025, Amazon enforces a strict title policy. 200 characters, limited special characters, and no single word more than twice, no emojis. And if you break these guidelines, Amazon rewrites it with AI. So you'd rather take control of that and take ownership. And that's why we're going to ask this prompt to be compliant with terms of service. So we want to make sure, this is where we use research. It's a very good feature because now also searches that for outside. Hey Claude, now I actually want your help on building a skill. I want the skill to be around optimizing for Amazon SEO. I want to make sure that it's compliant with the Amazon terms of service, optimized for the latest Amazon engine, Cosmos, while also at the same time optimized for Alexa for shopping now that they rolled it out. It used to be Rufus. So I want to make sure that you optimize the skill for organic ranking. I want it to be cover the entire thing, the title, the bullet points, whatever Amazon needs from an SEO perspective. So now that we gave it that here, it's going to work on building that skill for me. So we'll come back once it gets. All right, so the skill was produced. It took probably 5 or 10 minutes. You can see all the research it did. It was very, very thorough. You can see all this kind of stuff that it filled it up with. And again, it tells even the assumptions that I made. And the reason I like to use Claude to build skills is because it knows what it's looking for. So that's where I can go here. I can save the skill. I can either do it through here, but also another option, I'm just going to save it so you can see it. Another option is to go back, customize skills, and then you can also upload a skill. So if I downloaded it, I could just upload it here. But obviously, we already saved it, so it should be showing up somewhere here. Let's see. There it is, right? And that's a skill with all the requirements, all that kind of stuff. So that's great. So now, assuming we obviously did we set up the files that we had here, the foundation, the entry per SKU, the brand guide. We obviously don't have that, so that's why this outcome isn't going to be perfect, but still, it's going to be decent. So let's go back here. Now we're going to try to write the SEO using the skill and using the brain that we just made. So the first thing that we're going to do is, again, this should ideally be in the brain already, but since it's not, we're just going to use Helium 10 to get us by for now. So get keywords, run new search. We'll get this really quickly, and then we will add in all the keywords once that produces. So we'll go down here. We'll add in as many keywords as we can. So just for the sake of this example, again, it's not perfect, but it just shows the entire framework. Add to my list, create new folder, test official, save, and then we will go to saved. We'll go to products, keyword processor, upload keywords from list, test official. Let's just process again. There it is. Okay, so let's go to Claude. Let's start giving it some information. I'll give it this. I will give it this. I'll give it even just an overall screenshot of the item. I'll upload the screenshot so you can see how vague you can be with Claude, and just I like to let it run loose and have it decide its parameters. And then we want to obviously deploy the skill. So going here, skill, Amazon listing SEO. All right. Hey Claude, so now the time has come. I want you to actually write me SEO for Amazon for this listing. Again, optimized for organic ranking. You already uploaded the skill here. And again, one limitation, obviously we don't have any files, so it's going to come up not all the way there. But if you're enjoying this so far, leave a like, subscribe, turn on notifications. We're going to be sharing what we do for our portfolio of $100 million plus brands and how we get growth, the exact strategies we use, and this is one of them. And I'll come back. All right, so Claude did get back to us, and you can see the content it gave us. It gave us a title here. I actually like it, to be fair. And you also give an alternate so that we can do manage A/B experiments and see which one gets higher click-through rate. You also see bullet points, very, very much intent-based, which I love. And then you can see it load. I mean, this is just with a basic skill and no brand context because we don't upload the file. So you can see how lethal this is. The premium A+ content, as obviously going to ask to verify because we didn't upload, so that's our fault. We obviously can do something more robust, seed Q&A, coverage map, going through all the stuff. And again, a skill, it's just like an employee. It kind of gets better as you train it. So once we develop this skill, another skill we can go in and develop is obviously the creative skill. We do the same process. You just speak to Whisper. Hey, now I'm doing creative optimization. I want to make sure I have the full image stack. You can see here, like obviously there's no image stack at all. You want a lifestyle image, infographic image, a competitor comparison image. What we're doing currently is we're having Claude produce the prompts and we're giving them to Nano Banana to produce the images. Claude doesn't produce images that well yet. They have the design feature over here, but it's still not as effective once you go to it. So it's not as effective as honestly Nano Banana. So that's what we're doing. Again, you can also do that for ads. You develop another skill for ads and it all is deployed. You can use that skill for either this brand, and we have 25, 30, 40 brands at any time that we're overlooking, managing, selling, owning. So we can deploy the same skill to different brands. Each brand has its own project. So you can see how this is scalable. And then that's just a system. One brain and you point any skill you want at it. So also keep in mind for a system or the skills, just like an employee, you train it to get better. So for example, one of the things that we trained our SEO skill is to have it mobile optimized. Now what that means is the first 80 characters are viewable on mobile. So we want the most important characters there. That includes the brand name, especially if it's getting branded search. Another example is the UVP. So if it's organic, as you mentioned, we want that in the beginning. We want mobile viewers to see that. So you're training these skills. For image optimization, same thing. For the main image, you want a white background with servings, just as an example, depending on the category. So you just continuously refine the skill, and you work with Claude to refine the skill to make it better. And I mean, there's so many examples on what we can do with this. Like, let's say if you're launching a brand that's not known, you don't want the brand name in the title. You want it to be at the end because you want to be very heavy focused on keywords. That's just that's another example. So if you want to see how we used AI to even cut creative costs by over $48,000, you can check out this video here. Make sure to like and subscribe for more videos like this.